Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I haven't checked in with eGrag Crypto in a while. This one's from a few days ago. XRP Steel Foundation and eye-opening insights. Here's 5 strategic, profound takeaways to fuel your understanding of the XRP journey. Untouched Steel Foundation, Zone A. Unscathed, Zone B Foundation crumbled during previous bear market bulls in action. Notably, he's got June 2022, September 2022, January 2023. XRP flirted with breaching the Steel Foundation, whatever that means. Then he goes, number 3, the resilient range. The chart unmistakably highlights the 80 to 85 cent range in a historical background. XRP's never closed full-bodied green candle above this threshold, perpetually donning a red shroud during... I wonder what if he pulls out like a dictionary while he's putting these together. They make me laugh. The imminent transformation. It's crystal clear that next time we witness one monthly green candle closes above 83 cents, it will mark the birth of the next Steel Foundation. In plain English, you might never acquire XRP for less than $1 in your lifetime. FOMO zone. Brace yourself for the $2 range. This is where the FOMO, fear of missing out phenomenon, is poised to ignite like wildfire. Stay steady. I'll utilize the chart's insights to create a multitude of visuals, unveiling valuable information, no longer time frames. So he's seeing something. I hope. Look. I've always felt like at some point when the real utility kicks in, all this stuff will kind of maybe once you have utility and once you have speculation combined with utility, you can really start to put, these chart guys are really going to be able to, once they have a history of utility with speculation, then it's really going to get interesting. Okay, we're getting proper party photos and video. Here's one from this guy. He's there's his airplane. And here he is in the air, headed to New York City for the proper party. And I guess, I don't know, but I'm assuming that this is the building. Maybe that's the Hammerstein Ballroom, where they're going to have it. And then here's another guy. This guy is literally popping bottles. Is this Jungle Inc?
Time for popping bottles, ladies and gents.
Is Jungle Inc there? No, Jungle Inc does not have a British accent, so that can't be him. I wonder if Jungle Inc's going to the thing. Okay, here's a clip. This is great. This is another clip from Gary Gensler. This guy calls Gary the Tonya Harding of regulation.
Mr. Chairman, I really liked your colorful testimony. And you're right, we are blessed with the largest, most sophisticated, most innovative capital markets in the world. But we cannot take this for granted. Even a gold medalist must keep training. With all due respect, Mr. Chairman, if the U.S. capital markets are a gold medalist, you are the Tonya Harding of securities regulation, because you are kneecapping the U.S. capital markets with the avalanche of red tape coming out of your commission.
Wow. Okay, and then Patrick McHenry gets a hold of Gary.
Chair Gensler, last time we were here, I asked you about Ether. In 2018, you say that Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash are not securities. So I want to focus today on Bitcoin. Why do you believe Bitcoin is not a security?
Thank you, Chair. And I think you're referencing remarks I made as a professor at MIT. And as I wrote in that paper at that time, it was really about something called the Howey test. And the Supreme Court, it's the law of the land, talks about if the public is anticipating a profit based on the efforts of others.
Okay. The public is anticipating a profit on Bitcoin, and it is the efforts of others. There are 4 Satoshis, Gary knows it, I know it, you know it. There are 4 Satoshis, and the SEC knows who they are. And the reason we know that is because Homeland Security announced in a public forum that they had met with the 4 Satoshis, and there were 2 SEC officials sitting in the audience. You're telling me that these agencies don't communicate with each other? And if they know it, Gary knows it. And by the way, the GitHub for, I think it's called the GitHub for Bitcoin, was at MIT, where Gary happened to be.
And as I think I noted in that paper back in 2018, I didn't see that Bitcoin
But your view on Bitcoin, you've made comments on this. You believe Bitcoin is not a security. Is that true?
Well, I think the staff of the SEC have also, and the prior chair.
I'm just asking you this question, and this is not a gotcha. I thought there was going to be an easy softball into harder questions. Do you think Bitcoin is a security?
No, I think I've said this in the past that I think that it doesn't
I'm asking you
meet the
to
Howey
answer
test.
my question now. This is not supposed to be hard.
I know. I said it
Just
does
answer-
not meet the Howey test, which is the
Okay.
law of the land about being an
So
investment
it doesn't meet the
contract
Howey
or
test.
security.
So therefore, it's a commodity. Is that fair?
I would say it's not a security, and then the test is otherwise for other
Okay.
laws.
Well, the CFTC says they don't have the authority over Bitcoin and digital commodities. Do you think legislation is necessary to protect consumers in the world of digital assets, in particular, given that gap around just Bitcoin?
I think, as I've testified here in this committee room 4 years ago as a private citizen, that for the parts of the crypto ecosystem that are not securities, though under the Commodities Exchange Act, the CFTC has some anti-fraud authorities, they don't have what's called plenary authority to write rules around that. And as I've said in the past, I've been supportive of our sister agency, if I can say that, an agency that I once was honored to chair and I like quite a bit, doesn't have that plenary authority, and if Congress moved forward on that, that could help them.
So the spot market lacks a regulatory paradigm and established law. So should we take action there?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I follow. The U.S. stock market you're talking about, the securities
No,
market?
the CFTC. I'm continuing with your answer. My follow-up there was because there's not a regulatory remit that Congress has given them, clear regulatory remit, we should step in. So let me just move on. I've talked about your non-compliance with document requests made by this committee. You believe the commission must vote in order to produce non-public information to this committee. Do you not?
Under the Exchange Act, I do believe that the commission needs
So,
that vote.
have you scheduled a vote necessary to provide the non-public documents to this committee?
We, I think, have been working with your staff and believe in oversight of this committee, we've provided somewhere over 40,000 pages
Yes,
of
nothing,
documents.
as I said in my opening statement, nothing that was non-public did you provide. In fact, you produced one of the letters that we wrote to you as responsive documents. It showed the absurdity of it. So the General Counsel's office has indicated to my staff that after a 10-week review process, these documents are ready to be transmitted. It just needs a vote. When do you intend to schedule that vote?
We continue to work with you and your staff. We've had, the commission has approved that some senior staff will be taking transcribed interviews, I think, with your staff. And
But that is not responsive to my document requests. This should not be the hard work of a chairman to answer these questions. You have 30 major rulemakings, but you won't even provide basic documents to us. Your unresponsiveness is non-compliance, and we'll have to take action if you're not willing to comply. You have a 10-week review process, and you've not provided documents. Furthermore, you haven't even done the economic analysis of your interplay of these major rulemakings that are going to affect anybody who owns a stock, bond, or any type of security. And so you've got serious questions to answer to the public and to Congress, and we intend to get your compliance. We can do it the easy way or the hard way.
Ooh, the easy way or the hard way. He's threatening subpoenas, folks. And I would go ahead and tell Patrick McHenry, if you're out there listening, the hard way is the only way you're getting anything. You better go on offense. If you don't go on offense, you lose. That's the only thing that this guy's going to understand is offense. Subpoena away. Then this guy, Ralph Norman, starts asking Gary about, that country we're not allowed to talk about, and Prometheum.
Mr. Gensler, are you aware of Prometheum?
Sorry, I didn't
Are
hear
you aware of Prometheum company?
Oh, a company. I have heard of that company. Yes, sir.
Well, they testified before us back on June 13th. The CEO and founder of Prometheum testified before us and he assured us that only 20% of the company is owned by China. Does that concern you at all? And I assume they're a broker-dealer, special purpose broker-dealer for digital asset securities.
Any registrant in our markets has to comply with our laws, and whether they're partially owned or wholly owned by China.
But I'm saying in your position, does that concern you? 20% owned by China, and the information that could be easily transferred to China, which is an enemy of this country?
Oh, sorry. What's really important, regardless of whether it's China or any other country, that our capital markets, it's a privilege to be in our capital markets, and that those companies comply with our laws, whether it's the company you mentioned or any other company controlled or partially owned by Chinese entities.
May comply with the laws, but still the threat is there that information is being shared on investors. We sent a letter to you back September 25th, Senator Tuberville and I. You know how long it took us to get this reply?
I'm sorry, September 25th, yesterday? No, I'm sorry.
Of 23, yes. Yesterday, yes, that's right. We sent it 10 weeks earlier. Took 10 weeks, is my point, to get this back. And what we ask you to do is look into that, into the China connection, which is a serious concern, should be of yours and your role. Basically, and I'm not going to read it, this is just a non-response. I mean, it's just words. And if what's concerning to me is if somebody in your role is just shuffling paper, it's a danger to this country.
There are a number of broker-dealers in our country that have affiliation with China. You named one. It's not the only one. I think your letter and some other letters from the senator named some of the others. And those broker-dealers have to comply with our laws. They actually have to, under our laws, have their books and records here so they can be inspected and looked at by FINRA, which you mentioned.
Is China go by the rules? I mean, does communist China go by the rules?
Man, what a mess our country is in. Check this out. There was somebody sitting behind Gary Gensler that was holding up this Stand with Crypto logo. Apparently, it's some kind of movement to stand with crypto, and they're like literally holding it up right behind his head. Pretty funny. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe. Hit the like button and tell your friends and family that people are popping bottles already around this proper party. Looks like they are going to have a good time up there. Thanks for listening.